Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out my channel. I'm going to have a look at natural gas, see what could be lying ahead of us for the coming week or two, and yeah, not looking numbers for the coach report not available yet, so we'll have to wait tomorrow I think to get it. Yeah, what we can see here on the daily charts is still the same scenario. I'm trading for quite some time now. It's that divergence on the daily chart here, also not highly significant. I still believe that we need to clear it up. Usually, as you can see previously, it was last year we got similar divergence. It was a little bit more obvious on that one, but it did actually got down to the point where it needed to get cleared up. 2.15 did actually break much lower following that, so it was a massive reversal. Are we going to see the same this year? It's a bit hard to say. I would say no, based on the fundamentals and some tightening in terms of the supply this year compared to last year, but still the principle is pretty much the same, except that we had massive contango and anticipation about price hike that is very likely to get disappointed should we not get a very cold winter. So back to the chart, we look at the daily. So we're having a divergence since that peak at 270 and peak at 3.40. So I think we are going to drop at minimum to the lowest end of that peak here, which is sitting currently roughly at 2.40. But because of the gap we're having here, should we actually drop to 240 and there's no major changes in terms of the weather or anything significant in the fundamentals, I believe technically we are going to go and close the gap first and very likely go and test that trend line at 2.1. Sorry. So yeah, so this scenario in principle for me is to sell any spike, open short, and only trade long as a content trade sort of trade. So being really careful and nimble with the profit taking. So looking on the 4 hours now, we're having here divergence on the 4 hours, bearish one, following that move we had last week up to I think it reached almost 3, got rejected quite strongly, and now we did start building up on some sort of accumulation that did actually break to the downside here, and now we are sitting at 2.85, and if we look now on the daily, that's a major reversal pattern here with a large red following a doji day. So I think continuation to the downside is extremely likely. Of course, cannot exclude in the short term some sort of a pullback and a retest of that level. We having 2.9 would be that level, so if you're holding short, you can definitely keep it, hold it until we do actually break much higher. I think 3 is very safe for now. As we look into the December, the weather doesn't actually look much colder. La Nina will play out nicely in that instance, and we should actually get some higher than normal temperature wherever it does actually matter for natural gas, the east coast, the south, everywhere, and of course the less populated areas, they should actually see some very cold weather, but that shouldn't really impact too much the demand. So I believe the downside will continue. Should we revisit that point here, we are going to try 2.8 first. So that was the opening, that gap here. Should we actually break, the next stop is 2.70, and then of course that very important level that we're having at 250 is a bit more psychological than anything else, but ultimately that could be a profit taking area for short, but we're going to drop lower. 2.1, my opinion, is very much possible. We're talking here about mid-December. I think it will take probably a bit longer, 2.12 maybe, and we'll get there by roughly before the end of December, and then we can start thinking about going long again if we get the right signal, something significant to that. Where we got, I think that one was not extremely obvious, but we still had some quite nice divergence on that drop here. If we can get something similar on that trend line here, that would be would feel quite comfortable entering long position to enter January, as we might still get some speculation around gold, and definitely 2.1, that's rather low price for winter, especially comparing to where the contango price is actually sitting at the moment. So yeah, that's the plan for the coming week. I'm not expecting anything to move to the upside in a dramatic way. Of course, should we actually break $3, then there will be a completely different picture. There will be some changes somewhere that we would start re-challenging potentially the divergence and make a third attempt to break higher. Of course, that would be a red flag for short position. We need to exit and look what could be happening for the in the coming days or weeks. So yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Wish you safe trading, and I speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.